Welcome back to the Violent Life Podcast. I'm Lucas O, MMA, and I'm here with Jordan Johnson, who's 26 years old. He's a 3-0 fighter for Flex Fights in Long Island. He's got a really quick knockout streak. His longest fight has only been 2 minutes, 22 seconds. A very fierce competitor in jiu-jitsu, competes quite a bit. And Jordan, you said you started training in 2024. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I started doing jujitsu at the end of July in 2024, and then I started doing Muay Thai in August 2024. So 2 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
man. And so, how long after you started training that did you have your first fight?
My first fight was my first official fight was on January 31st that just passed in 2026. But I had a couple of smokers before that. I had some Muay Thai smokers. And then obviously I had a bunch of jujitsu matches and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, when I was looking at Smooth Comp, it's crazy to see how active you've been. And not only that, but how successful. Every single comp I'm looking at, it's like gold, gold, gold. And then, to get to be there in person and see you whoop some ass in Brooklyn, man, that was a really nice surprise.
Yeah, bro. I give all the credit to my coaches and my teammates and stuff like that, you know. Uh I work pretty hard. I'm in the gym every day, training hard, but I feel like it's definitely my coaches and my training partners that play a big part in it. Cause I know a bunch of people that have been training a lot longer than me or training at other different spots, and the results aren't necessarily the same. So I have a lot of like faith in my team for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, just in between matches, man, it was really cool to see how locked in you guys were and how in tune your coach was with you. So yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys have really good chemistry, and your success in the ring too shows it all, man. Like it's seeing the three finishes that you have, man, is wild because you look so sharp at such an early level of the game, and when you watch the way you break down these opponents, it's like every single shot is so calculated and looking to end the fight. So is that something from your team as well? Kind of that you have to kill aspect, like that sharpness.
Definitely for sure. I'd say both of my coaches like stress finishing the fight like a lot, especially especially in jujitsu. We are very my jujitsu gym, we hunt submissions a lot. I feel like you probably got to see that because a couple of my other teammates competed that day. To one of my teammates, Serena, she won gold in women's 135. And then my other teammate, he placed fourth, but he had a couple of subs. I think he had either two or three subs in his matches. Probably more than that, actually. Maybe it was either three or four. I'm not sure. We had a couple matches that day. That day was actually kind of hectic for me too, because I actually just decided to compete like the day before. So I had to cut the couple pounds in the morning before the comp and then came. So everything happened pretty fast.
Yeah, well, it was really funny because at the last competition that we were at, I had followed you on Smooth Comp, and I guess I had forgotten that. And so the morning of Brooklyn, when I was on my way to the event, I was trying to look at all my teammates' like schedules, and yours had popped up, but my brain just wasn't doing the math, and I was so confused why it was showing me your like records. And then
Uh-huh.
it wasn't until later my buddy was about to go up, and I look across the mat and I see you sitting there competing. I'm like, oh my lord! So,
Yeah.
really cool, man. But yeah, you guys did great. I love this sport, man. To be able to go out in the different branches of the sport and compete out there, find your success, and then go to the big stage and mix it all together. And it's wild because we've really only seen your striking in the cage, and your grappling is not to be played with. So that'll be that'll be interesting if and whenever that comes out in your fights.
I'm excited for that too because, like you said, um, I feel like my favorite thing about how things have been going so far. Um, yes, I like to finish fights. Yes, I like knockouts and stuff like that. But being that everything has happened so quickly, um, I feel like I still have this kind of like mystique around like my fighting style, and not a lot of people necessarily know what it is that I'm capable of yet because they haven't seen much. There's not a lot of footage to go back to and see. So I'm definitely looking forward to surprising some people with my grappling skills. I'm definitely looking forward to surprising people with even my striking too, because like yes, all of my wins have been by knockouts and via strikes and stuff like that. But also, like, I haven't really gotten the opportunity to display all of my like striking capabilities because of how fast the matches have been going. So I'm excited for
Yeah,
that.
man. Well, you got a really good matchup coming up on September 26th at Madison Square Garden. What can you tell me about that, man?
Um, well, first of all, I'm excited to fight in Madison Square Garden. Me being born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, obviously the Garden is just the Garden is a world renowned arena that like everybody like dreams of even going to as a spectator, but to be able to compete and be under the lights and like perform and do something there, that's a big deal to me. Uh, growing up in New York, so I'm super excited for that. It's right in my backyard. I'm gonna be fighting Arvin Loga. He's this guy. I believe he's from Jersey. Um, he's uh he's pretty experienced, 6-1. Um, I think he has a couple of titles in a couple of other promotions. Definitely a step up in competition, but I'm excited for that because it's like I get to show everybody what level I'm actually on, you know?
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. And yeah, like this is a very good way to uh establish that you're here to stay, man. And
For
yeah,
sure.
this guy's had he's had some fights on Flex. He fought up by me, Cage Wars.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like you said, he's had some experience. So this will be a very very big win, man. Uh, I'm extremely excited for you. This is such a massive opportunity, and like you said, born in Brooklyn, you get to compete at home at the big one, the MSG. So
Exactly.
that's awesome, man. We're gonna have the link for tickets and obviously your Instagram. Anyone can message you for the physical, at least while they last.
For
If you
sure.
still got them, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
I got a couple left, but they selling out fast, so you know, I suggest everybody who's interested in coming try to get their hands on that as soon as possible. And I just recently dropped some merch too. So if anybody would be interested in that, I got some merch for sale, some pretty dope shirts. It's three different shirts. Two of them were designed by one of my teammates, and then one of them was designed by this guy from Texas. His brand is called Combat Wear. But my teammate, his name is Daniel. He he he's pretty talented. He helped me with some dope designs. He actually designed 6 different shirts for me, but I only dropped 2. So maybe the rest y'all get to see like later on down the line and I'll drop those later too. But yeah, the merch is pretty fire.
Yeah, dude, I saw it, man. It really, really looks good, man. That's super sick. And you know that it's gonna be a packed house with those shirts comes September 26th. Oh,
Definitely.
that's awesome, man. So I want to ask you, as far as fighting, grappling, competing in general, like what are your goals? Where are you looking to take this all the way as far as you can? Or, like I know some people that, they want to get into fighting, fight a little bit, and just do it for the love of the sport. Like,
Mm. So,
what's
growing up, I've played almost every sport you could possibly think of. So just naturally, I'm a competitor, and naturally, I just want to do things to the best of my abilities. And honestly, anything that I do, I want to be the best at it. So when I started doing MMA, when I started training grappling and Muay Thai and stuff like that, my goal is to be the best martial artist ever, you know? So I'm definitely trying to push myself to compete at the highest level. I want to fight the most dangerous people in the world, and I want to test myself and prove my capabilities, you know?
Yeah, man. And I mean, you're on a great track already. You're 26. You're young. You have so much to accomplish, and it's awesome, man. And so now, when you're not training, what's life like? What do you do for a living? How's your day to day go?
When I'm not when I'm not training, uh I'm normally like either chilling with my little brother. I like to cook a lot. Uh I'm I even before I started doing combat sports, I always been in the gym super heavy. That's actually how I got into MMA because I was always I was lifting weights and I train people as well. So like I was in the gym, I do a lot of calisthenics and weightlifting and stuff like that. And then one of my boys, he had hit me up and he wanted to get into like strength training and stuff like that. So he asked me if I could like help him like put together a routine. And basically in exchange for that, he invited me to his jujitsu gym. And that's how I got started and I've been training ever since then. But yeah, basically when I'm not on the mats training jujitsu or Muay Thai, chilling with my little siblings, working, cooking, hanging out with friends. I like movies. I like to travel, different stuff like that. I like art, all types of stuff, you know?
That's awesome, man. And yeah, you're in Brooklyn, so you got like the heat of all that there, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's always something to do out here. It's always something to do. I like food a lot. I go out to eat a lot, you know. I love food. It's everything that you would want to do. It's something for everybody out here. So it's always something to do.
yeah, man. And I think I want to say that it was 2 weekends ago. Was that comp? I think that was the first time I've been to Brooklyn in my adult life. So that was pretty cool. Stopped at the
And,
deli on the way in.
and actually, that the venue that the comp was in is actually the neighborhood that I grew up in. I live probably like 15 minutes from there. So
Wow,
I'm in that area a lot. You was in my stomping grounds for sure.
that's awesome, man. Yeah, well,
That's
it
that's
was
why I was able to do the tournament last minute because like I lived a couple of blocks away. So like I cut the weight the same day, came and weighed in, went home, got something to eat, got some rest, and then came to compete, you know?
damn. That's awesome, man. Wow, I can't even comprehend being that close to to weigh-ins, man. Like every time I've done it, I show up at like 7 a.m., weigh in, go eat, and now I'm stuck there for like 5 hours before my first match. So
I
that's
mean, yeah,
oh, it
but
must
I've
be
experienced a little bit of both too, cause I do travel to compete. Actually, my first comp actually came out to Jersey to do the first comp I ever did. I came out to Rahway, I think it was, and I did a couple competitions in Connecticut and New Hampshire as well. So I traveled a little bit for comp, but the Brooklyn grappling industry is like that shit is right up the block, so it's convenient for me.
yeah, that's sick, man. Well, it was a really cool environment. I really liked the difference there than like as opposed to the Rahway and the Newtown ones. It was, free entry. That was sick. You got to go in and out as you please. Really cool environment. Uh, you know, it was it was sick. But I think actually today is Newtown. I got
Yeah,
a
yeah,
few
yeah.
teammates. Yeah, yeah. So
I was contemplating doing that, but my coaches decided that it was a little bit too close to the fight, so we just gonna focus on camp right now.
yeah, I think that's smart. Yeah, I was looking at this one too, but I ended up just like overworking the muscles in my neck and they just keep getting stiff. So I'm
Mm.
like, I gotta, wait till that kind of heals up and then I'll compete again. But that's awesome, man. So now you've done 14 competitions in total. Is that correct?
Um, I
It might be
believe
a lot too
so.
much to count.
I honestly, I don't even know at this point. I honestly, whenever there's anything in the vicinity of where I'm from, if it's in the neighboring state or something like that, whenever my coach tells me to compete, I compete. I can't recall the last time I've missed a tournament that was either in New York or New Jersey or anything like that. If I did miss it, it was because I had a fight coming up. So I feel like I'm more active than most. Like, and that's the thing that like it's funny to me. Like people just assume that I'm like solely a striker because of the way my fights go and stuff like that. But like they don't understand that I've had probably like over like 40 grappling matches in the last 12 months or something like that. So
Yeah, when it comes to experience, man, you've had a lot of it. That's for sure. You know,
yeah,
it's at least, yeah, at least grappling. When it comes to the cage, you know, it's when you throw all the time together,
yeah,
that's the misleading part. So that's cool. It's a little secret weapon on your side.
for sure.
So in the past, upcoming, what's your take on how you compose yourself, when you see these guys that you're fighting? Like, are you at amateur, are you looking to maybe stir the pot, or are you kind of keeping it respectful for now, waiting until, further down the line?
Um, like I said, man, I'm here to compete. So it's like I I respect all of my opponents, but then at the same time, like until the match is over, there's no friends, there's no I'm not friendly. I'm going in there to to hurt people. This is the hurt business. Like this is a combat sport. I'm looking to take their head off. Whoever they put in front of me, my obligation is to torture them until the match is over. Like, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, man. I mean, that,
And I feel like that shows in my fighting style
yeah.
too.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely, man. Everything about it, it's, it's quite, you're a one of a kind, man. I feel like you don't really see guys start out like you do and do as consistently well. So And so you're coming out of it's Bancho MMA, and now I noticed online there was some crossover. You also train at Iron Rooster.
Yes. So I go to Iron Rooster Muay Thai for striking, and then I train grappling at Bancho MMA.
Okay, gotcha. So nice. You got the mixture. That's awesome, man. Now, when it
Yeah.
comes to like the sport, now you say your buddy got you into it through you coaching him. It was kind of that exchange where you got into jujitsu. How long have you been following the sport? Was it kind of the same time, or were you watching a bit before?
Well, obviously, once I started competing, I definitely started watching it a lot more. But I grew up watching the UFC a lot. I used to watch it on Spike TV. I used to watch it on Spike when I was a kid. One of the first fighters that like caught my attention was like Rampage Jackson and Chuck Liddell, guys like that. I had the early UFC video games and stuff like that. So I've been familiar with the sport for a while, but obviously like I dove into it a lot more since I started competing because I'm I have a very like obsessive personality. So like whatever it is that I'm like into at the moment, that's like all I'm focused on. So I'm watching fights every day. I'm watching footage, uh, all types of stuff. So I definitely dove into it a little bit more when I started competing, but I've always been a fan of the sport.
That's sweet, dude. Now, so would you say that when you're watching like the big leagues, would you say there's anyone that maybe you pull from that affects your style, or is it kind of just up there's entertainment? Like, I don't know if you separate the two.
Um, so I definitely I definitely like pull different things from different fighters and stuff like that. There's nobody that I want to be exactly like, because I do want to have my own style. Uh, but I definitely do like take little bits and pieces from a lot of my different favorite fighters and stuff like that.
That's awesome, man. Have you gotten to work with any of the bigger names, or
Um, so basically I haven't I haven't worked with anybody like consistently, but one of my main striking coaches, or just MMA coaches in general, because he's an MMA fighter as well. But one of my main MMA coaches, Joel Vasquez, he's uh he's been one of the bigger names on the regional scene for some years now. He's 10-0 in MMA. Uh, multiple. He's won championships at the amateur and pro level. He's a finisher as well. He has a lot of knockouts. I believe he's finished 7 different opponents in his fights. Uh, he fights in the same division as me. He was supposed to actually be on this MSG card with me, but he had gotten injured a couple weeks ago, so he's gonna be getting surgery soon. Hopefully, he has a speedy recovery and he could get back in the cage soon. But other than that, I dropped in once uh with David Branch, and that's because one of my friends that I used to work with, I used to work at Equinox, and one of my friends that works at Equinox, he's a professional MMA fighter, and he trains at David Branch's gym. His name is Jordan Morgan. He's I believe he's 3-0 or 4-0 as a pro now. He just fought last week for Cage Fury, I believe. And He's doing pretty well. He's an undefeated pro. Um, so in terms of like big names and stuff like that, those are probably the bigger names that I've worked with. Um, my coach, he's pretty well known in the grappling community. He's worked with like everybody you could possibly think of. Um, growing up, I mean not growing up, but like as he was coming up in the grappling scene, he was training with John Danaher. He trained with Gordon. He trained with Eddie Cummins. He trained with a bunch of different guys that are big names in the grappling field. And my my Muay Thai gym as well too. My Muay Thai coach, Crew Esteban Masonette. He's been in the Muay Thai industry for over 20 years. So anybody who's been consistently doing Muay Thai or kickboxing or even MMA, they've definitely heard of him because he's been working for a while now in the industry. So yeah, I've worked with a couple of different people. Um, it's on some like if you know you know type shit because it's like I wouldn't say they're necessarily like famous celebrities or anything like that, but like everybody who is a prominent figure in combat sports is familiar with my lineage because all of these people they played a significant role in pushing their respective sports forward, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the coaches that you train with really, really do kind of add a little tag to your style, you know, and the fact that you're getting to mess around with so many different experienced guys really, really is going to further your development so much more. So that's super cool, man. That's you know,
Mhm.
good the good training partners are it's the best thing you can ask for. Uh it's you know, you go get your ass whooped in the gym for weeks and then
For
it's like you
sure.
see your teammates go out there and look unstoppable and you're like, "All right, okay. So we're that's what we do. Okay." You know?
It's always funny because like my teammates, we always have like for the most part we have like pretty dominant performances and stuff like that. When we go to compete, uh my friends they come and see me fight and they they think that it's like super easy and it's nothing to me. But like they don't see the behind the scenes. Like I've gotten my ass kicked in the gym plenty of times. Like plenty of times to where you can't even imagine. And one of the things that I like the most about my gym, uh, especially at Iron Rooster Muay Thai, we have a lot of different we have all different levels of fighters at our gym. We have some people that come and they just train as hobbyists, and then we have people who've been professional Muay Thai and kickboxing and MMA fighters for a long time. So the experience level it varies, and I get a lot of different looks, and I feel like that prepares me well for competition. You know.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's great. So, what when you go into a fight camp now, because this will be your fourth, what does the routine kind of look like? What's you know, how many days a week do you train? What what do you designate weeks to certain you know, goals?
Um. So you say that like you said, this is my fourth fight camp, but it honestly just feels like one long fight camp because I tell people all the time it feels like I've been in fight camp since like November because even with my first fight, I was supposed to fight earlier than when I did fight. So I was preparing to fight like in the fall, like October, November. But then my gym had ended up changing locations. So I couldn't fight. I had to wait until like we settled into the new location. And then on top of that, once I did start fighting, I fought 3 times back to back in 4 months. So like it felt like one long camp. And even when I'm outside of camp, I'm still training every single day and for multiple hours each day. I'd say I probably do about minimum hour and a half of Muay Thai and an hour and a half of Jiu-Jitsu each day. Sometimes it's longer than that. Sometimes it's like 3, 4 hours of training in total. And then that's not even considering the strength and conditioning that I do on my own outside the gym. So I dedicate a lot of time to training, and I feel like that's what has helped me be able to be so consistent because I'm always in shape, I'm always training, so I'm always ready to fight, you know? And that's why I'm able to do things like what I did a couple weeks ago when I saw you and decided to do the grappling tournament the day before, you know, because I'm constantly training, I'm staying in shape, doing what I can to keep my weight low, keep my skills sharp. So like whenever the call comes for a fight or a competition, it's not like I'm scrambling to get into fight shape, you know?
Yeah, man. Wow. That's cool. So now as far as like diet, like is that something you have to be really mindful of, or do you have a metabolism that kind of just works with whatever you eat, you know?
Um, my metabolism is pretty fast. Uh, Obviously I know that that will change as I get older, but also I feel like generally I eat pretty clean compared to like most people. I'd say like my diet gets more strict the closer to the fight I get, just due to the the manipulation that you have to do with your diet in order for like the water cut and stuff like that to go smoothly. So for the most part, my diet is pretty much the same all year round. But like as I get closer to the fight, obviously I'll cut back on carbs and sodium and stuff like that. But the actual like foods and stuff like that that I'm eating doesn't necessarily change too drastically. I'm just cutting out like I'm cutting back on portions of certain things, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So so overall with just your lifestyle of staying in shape, would you say that training camp you think is maybe a bit easier for you than the average starting MMA fighter?
I believe so. I feel like um I feel like my physical capabilities and like me being in shape and me being athletic and strong and stuff like that is an asset of mine before as soon as I came in. Cause like I said, I was a gym rat before I even started training combat sports. So I was always in shape. Yes, there's fight in shape, being in fight in shape and just being in shape as an average person is completely different. So there was a little bit of a period to where I had to get used to developing the fight cardio and stuff like that. But being that, like I said, being that I train every day, once I develop the fight cardio and stuff like that, everything just goes kind of smoothly in terms of like the conditioning wise. I feel like I'm always in shape. Uh, I'm always ready to go. So yeah, it's just a matter of me staying consistent, you know, and keeping that up.
I lost you for a second there, but we're all good. Um, Awesome, man. So we're about like a month out from this matchup. What can we expect? What's your I guess I should say, what is your expectation for this fight? How do you see this playing out? And what can you tell us about your game plan going into it?
Um, I think it's gonna be a good fight for sure. Like I said, it's gonna be a step up in competition, but I also feel like a lot of people are talking about how experienced my opponent is, but at the same time, I feel like my opponent has never fought anybody like me before. You know, a lot of these guys are more experienced than me. Everybody that I've ever competed against has been more experienced than me. Whether that is in MMA or whether it's in grappling or stuff like that. So the experience gap doesn't necessarily concern me. Um, but I think it's gonna be a great fight. I feel like uh it's gonna be a clash of two different fighting styles. I feel like I can't say too much about my game plan, but I feel like me being I'm definitely gonna have to utilize a little bit more IQ for this fight, just being that it's a better opponent. You know, the other fights that I had, with all due respect to my opponents, I feel like there was more of a skill gap. So it was more so me just applying pressure, being aggressive, and just making sure that I didn't make any mistakes. But now I feel like it's gonna be a little bit more of a chess match now. You know, I still obviously feel like I'm the better fighter, and I feel like I'm gonna come out on top. But I definitely feel like I'm gonna have to put a little bit more thought into this fight. I'm gonna have to be more attentive, use my IQ, be a little bit more patient, set my shots up a little bit more, stuff like that. But I'm excited to display my skills. I'm excited to show everybody how hard I've been working. And like I said, really show everybody what level I'm on, you know. Um I want to fight for a title soon. This guy has titles in multiple different organizations. So I want to show people that I'm capable of fighting at a championship level. And yeah, I'm definitely ready to prove that. And I'm glad that I get to prove it on such a big stage like Madison Square Garden.
Awesome, man. Well, September 26th, Madison Square Garden, Jordan Johnson, we're gonna fill that house and can't wait to see you compete, bro. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. We'll be back next week. Peace, guys.